I refuse to hold back, there will be spoilers. Final Fantasy XVI is a JRPG that the devs don't like their game being called. So it's now an ARPG, where we go around destroying 5G towers in each great shinobi village to prevent a plague from spreading. In this game, you play as Clive Gigachad, who wants to get revenge from this one member of Organization 13 for slaying his brother. To locate this guy, you must travel the great lands of copy and paste the concept art into the game, and to find the truth behind this tiny but huge world of Valistea. So come with me as we commit the act of destroying human and inhuman lives in the world of Final Fantasy XVI. The gameplay is what makes this game look like my PS5 might explode because of the amount of particle effects that I can see on my screen. However, underneath these explosions, the gameplay is what makes this game boring. In the majority of previous Final Fantasy games, they required you to read wiki pages worth of combat knowledge so that you can understand the joy of strategic turn-based combat as you use your brain to formulate a way to defeat the bosses within their game. In 16, you can yeet your brain to the Shadow Realm and install your smooth baby brain to enjoy the combat made for children. Yes, you can use the same brain needed to play a specific shooting game that we all enjoy. All of these attacks might look flashy, but what I'm mostly doing is mashing a single button so that gamers like you can finally enjoy a Final Fantasy game. My guess is that the combat director must have gotten threatened to make the most basic combat that I've seen in a AAA hack and slash game. You might think I'm doing combos, but what I'm actually doing is a combo, meaning that combos don't exist in this game. You have to make up your own combos, but apparently 90% of gamers don't have a brain cell to do it. Or you can hold this button and press this button, and this game will play a cutscene of you doing a combo. Yes, I am playing the game, can't you see? You know when there's something wrong in this game? When you can attack a fire-infused enemy with the same element. You also have to use the occasional dodge button to avoid the enemy's bitch slaps, otherwise you're gonna see that death screen more than you like. Most JRPG gamers might be looking for the party swap feature, where they can optimize the way they defeat monsters by swapping party members to use in combat so that they don't get killed. But apparently that's too much for a gamer with room temperature IQ to make their own decisions. So the devs automatically set you up with people to fight with, as if the game isn't easy enough for gamers, especially when you can equip these items to let the game play for itself. Since I am a real gamer, I don't have any footage of me using these items. The damage that enemies do take out so much health that it might as well send me to the 9th dimension. But don't worry, you can always heal yourself with the tiniest amount of potions you hold in any Final Fantasy game ever. You see, the previous games let you hold on to 99 potions, but here it's less than 5 potions and 3 high potions. Oh sorry, I must be playing Final Souls Ring 16. Your doggo, which is a very good boy, can heal you as well, but we don't talk about it. As with most RPGs, you have to think about which armor and weapons to use so that you can avoid getting your ass beat in Minecraft. But as I said before, you don't have a brain anymore, so you can just equip the weapons or armor that will give you a positive number to increase both your stats and dopamine levels. Oh, and just avoid looking at the rarity colors on the equipment, because the devs must have lost their brains as well, because they don't mean anything. Like any video game, you can gain every gamer's favorite term, experience points. Leveling up here is another way to increase your dopamine levels, but it can help you gain new abilities to give you arthritis. Like upgrading this move lets you mash your button even more, just like how you should be mashing the like button on this video. The cost of these abilities though are so damn high that it reminds me of the living crisis that we're living in. At least there's New Game Plus for me to replay this game, filled with 11 hours of cutscenes, making this game more of a cinema experience than me finally playing the game that I bought. Oh, and since this game is no longer a JRPG, you don't need to find a farming route for experience points, because you can complete the very engaging side quests to give you the points you need to break your controller. The basic combat also extends to the major boss fights, which is Holy shit, this is epic. So this is why people keep saying this is the best boss fights they've had in gaming. But in reality, all of this is scripted. So there's no way you can lose in these fights unless you somehow have a skill issue. Then it looks like you need to go back and play Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Yo, this game is actually really hard. These fights might be hella basic, but this is on some next level of anime that I don't mind watching. Now you might be asking, what the hell are we fighting? Well, I'm gonna have to dive into the story of this game, because I'm guessing that as soon as you saw 16 on the game, you turned your non-existent brain off. Don't worry about the number, because every Final Fantasy game has its own story. So you don't need to burn your money to the Shadow Realm to get the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster to understand Final Fantasy. Because we're both broke and don't have the time to play actual JRPGs that have more than 60 hours of gameplay and cutscenes. But hey, if you do have a brain and the time to play them, please play them for me. Within this fantasy world, there are 6 shinobi villages, and there exist 3 kinds of people. The normies who can't use magic, the weebs that can, and the gamers that wield both magic and the power of these guys, which we call Eikons. 5 of the 6 shinobi villages are having a battle royale because the world is getting screwed over by a plague, which means you can't use magic and no one likes living there. The normies in the world are racist to weebs because of the skill issue, but the gamers are treated with respect, except for the village of pure racists. They actually stole a gamer because I guess they weren't lucky enough to pull a SSR character. You see, each village has their own 5-star character, each having the power to nuke an entire nation if they wanted to. Britain has the glorious Kentucky Fried Chicken. The village of pure racists stole the girl that sang the hit song Let It Go. North Korea has a harpy lady, and that man on his My Little Pony. I'm sure he's a huge fan. Gandalf the Grey escaped North Korea and decided to build another Fellowship of the Ring. Dwayne The Rock Johnson lives in the Shifty Sandland. This dragon from Kingdom Hearts 2 lives in that castle from Lord of the Rings. And no one cares about the last village because there's nothing going on there. They literally don't have any 5-star character. I am missing out on one more gamer that controls the fire demon, but we don't know who that is until later. And it's kind of obvious. He's like this world's DLC character. As I said before, the normies are racist to weebs because of a skill issue, so slavery was their best option. The weebs and gamers don't have it easy either, because if they use too much magic, they'll become figurines, like the 2B figure that I'll one day own. The normies take racism to the extreme by mocking weebs from birth with that badass poisonous tattoo on their face. Only if they figure out the weeb can use magic. You see, the thing about magic is that the 5G towers allows the weebs and gamers to use that magic. Normies can also use these rocks that are magically powered by those towers, and each of them are located in 5 of the 6 shinobi villages. However, Gandalf learned that it's also the cause of the plague, so we gotta destroy them, which will also disable the use of magic. With the world learning more about cancel culture, Clive Gigachad journeys across the world to free the lives of people from the power of 5G connections to the internet, whilst learning about why this thing is simping after us. There's a lot of NPCs that you come across, and things that happen in the story which might cause your brain to overload. This is where 2 of the best NPCs in the game will give you the in-game wiki page to save your brain from getting an aneurysm. I spent 2 hours learning what the hell is up in this world, and thanks to this, I've now developed another brain cell thanks to this knowledge. Or you can use the arcane ability to pause cutscenes to gain intelligence about who the hell is this person on the screen. But if we're actually talking about the best NPC in the game, it's gotta be the one and only best uncle in the game, Byron. It's actually rude to call him an NPC because he is the GOAT. Forget all of these guys that can transform into those Eikons that can nuke entire nations. All I need is my man Byron. Before we send this world into the Great Depression, we must accept the various and extremely fun side quests that we have in the game. We have the talk to people side missions, where this kid can't tell the difference between a pet and a human. The kill this thing side mission so that Peter can have a word with him. And one of the best side missions, the I don't know where the hell it is side mission. This one involves hunting down a monster somewhere in this painful world of Velastea, because Google Maps doesn't exist in this world. I think the devs also forgot that there's a map in this game. Finally, they've made Where's Waldo as a video game, except that he or it no longer wears striped clothing. 90% of these side quests are really helpful, so be sure to waste most of your time doing them. I really do love going back and forth between maps to complete quests. It really makes me want to play more of it. I guess gamers love doing this, huh? The world, as you can see, looks so beautiful. Finally, a game where I can touch grass from the basement that I'm living in. I can finally feel the breeze coming from the graphics that my PS5 is producing. Now, you might be thinking, is there loot in this amazing space? And yes, there is. But the devs found a way to make loot decrease my dopamine levels. So most, if not all of the loot I came across might as well be labeled, I don't know what the hell it is, but thanks, I guess. I totally need these materials for the equipment that I barely built throughout my time playing the game. Most of these semi-open world spaces are filled with trash mobs and occasional semi-bosses so that you can test your amazingly brain-dead moves against them. I like the move where I can press one button to kill all of these guys in one hit with basically no cooldown, because my brain cell also enjoys brain-dead gameplay. The semi-bosses and bosses though are actually cleverly camouflaged sponges with unique attacks that can make me do somersaults if I don't dodge their attacks on time. I can't even see their attacks with these special effects on the screen unless I stop attacking them. I might as well be playing this game blindfolded at this rate. Since gamers now have the same IQ as the temperature as my freezer, the only strategy you need to fight these bosses is by mashing your buttons in hopes that you can deplete their health bar before your health drops. Wow, isn't that great for you? As fun as this game sounds, the question that comes to mind is, should you get this game? Yes, you absolutely should. I am totally not being threatened by the Final Fantasy community. For you players too scared to pick up a Final Fantasy game, this is your entry point, because I guess your big brain can only handle a game with zero strategy needed to play a Final Fantasy. But for us real gamers that can handle turn-based battles, we got better things to do than fry our brains for this combat. More people need to experience a Final Fantasy game. We're more than 16 games deep and people still haven't played a Final Fantasy game. Is there something wrong with you? Even though your brain might not be required to mash your way through the game, it doesn't change the fact that this game is f***ing epic. Thank you to those who survived watching this mess, so subscribe to the channel to continue witnessing more pain. And I will see you later.